I'm really enamored to see so many of my children. I have been able to find them back. It's such a great thing to see them after such a long time. While I came here 10 years back, and none of them could feel the importance of mother's love. And now it has worked. Such a tremendous thing has happened, that it has worked, and that people are feeling that great thing called the subtle energy of mother's love. Now in these 10 years, I've been all over the world, Australia, Europe, England, India. But I must tell you, my attention was in America all the time. I was longing for the day when I would feel like coming back to this country. Because I thought 10 years back it was too early. They have to learn it, what truth is. They have to go through it. They are a bit too cocksure. Unless and until it works out that way, they are not going to accept Sahaja Yoga. But what do you accept in Sahaja Yoga is yourself, is your spirit, is your power of Kundalini, and by which the responsibility that when you get this realization, you have to settle down with it, know all about it. You have to become a guru of yourself first and then the guru of others. In short, Sahaja Yoga is the epitome of our evolution. That is what we are made human beings into. All these scientific methods that have come on this earth, all these explorations that are there, are to communicate about Sahaja Yoga. Nothing else. They are not going to be used for anything else. If you use them for anything else, they will have no impact, no achievement, and everything will be wasted. As I was talking to doctor, did you talk today about peptones and all that? No. All right, I've asked him to talk to you. That the human mechanism is the highest of all. We have now created the highest thing, as we call it, as the computer. It goes alongside with our own building inside. Now the computer has to think. It just can't do anything without thinking. Now when you see me, you are not thinking, you just see me. You see this, you see that. You don't have to think. Go into the process of thinking. Spontaneously you know what it is. And they will take thousands of years. They will never be able to produce a computer like that. Then the computer, when it starts working, the human computer, is going even ahead of that. When you become the computer, when you get connected with the mains, you know everything. Because the mechanism in you is the absolute mechanism, the perfect mechanism. It has no defects except that you have misused it, you have overpressed it, or you have taken it to a junk shop for nothing. But you'll be amazed that you can repair it yourself. The vital power within you has repaired it. So this power which is within us can repair it. Repair. That's first thing it does, is to repair us. We should accept that there is some repairing needed within ourselves. That is one thing one has to accept. Otherwise, you cannot go very far with it. Supposing you buy a fifth-hand ship, then you better repair it before putting it to the sea. Like some ladies came to see me, off and on from France. So my husband said, what's this? She has once given you realization, then why are you bothered? He is dealing with shipping, you see. So the lady answered, sir, supposing you buy a fifth-hand ship, what will you do? He said, in all wisdom, I will never buy. And even if I buy, after using it for a while, if it doesn't work out, we throw it in the sea. We have no patience. So one has to know that you have to work it out. You have to understand your value and your problems, and you have to work it out. It's very easy to work out yourself. Like there was one Sir Yogi was written this book, Advent. One day he came very disturbed. He said, Mother, I ask you a question. If it is yes, you just keep quiet because I'll be really blasted. If it is no, it's all right. So I said, what's the question? He said, was I Napoleon in last life? I said, what makes you think that? He said, because I have a very big ego. I've discovered such a big ego, and I float suddenly. So with the slightest jump, I go floating. That's one thing. And the second thing is that I can draw very well from my childhood. I had a very strong hand for lines. That he too had. That's why I'm rather worried if I was Napoleon. I said, none at all, don't you worry. Then he was settled down because he said that would be really an abuse of you to ask, to give realization to Napoleon, a person like Napoleon. Now look at that. Once upon a time, Napoleon was the hero. I mean, as we were young children in India, we had to learn about the greatness of Napoleon. How his childhood was spent, and how he conquered countries after countries. And his words were used just like some scriptural saying. But now today, the same country doesn't want to accept him as a hero. On the contrary, they think he was an idiot to do such a thing. So the situation has changed now. People have learned their lessons. And they think this is not the way the hero should be. So now today the hero is, say, someone like Mahatma Gandhi, or you had Mr. King here. All such people, I would say Abraham Lincoln, he is coming up as a hero. What is so special about these people? We have to see. They were all realized souls, no doubt. But one thing more they had was that they imbibed in them the capacity to emit compassion, love, nourishment and soothing capacity of the Mother Earth. Because of that, only they were today respected, they are today respected as great heroes. And that is what Sir Yogis have to be now. They have done all competition, all nonsense. I mean, so many have turned back. Like they started anti-culture, saying that, oh, this is too much. This suit and boot is too much for us. We don't want to have it. So they turned their back to that and they started seeking. But while seeking also, they went to the other side of it and got lost. Like one fellow came to me, all stinking, his hair was stinking, he never had bath for a year, he said. And I said, what's the matter? You are smelling like a dog. So he said, I want to be a dog. I said, but why? So he said, I like it. But I said, why are you troubling everybody else, you see? So he says, Mother, but I want to be primitive. I said, with this brain you can never be primitive. You may change your hats, you may change everything, you may change your hairstyle, anything. You cannot become primitive, you are a modern man. Accept it. So why trouble others for nothing at all? And this is how it is, that we think by our mental projections, by our mental conceptions, we can do something. You cannot do anything. Whatever you do becomes absolutely useless. Why? Because, as Doctor will explain to you later on, that within us now there is something called peptones, you see, which work out for the neutralizing of our problems with the sugar. Now they have a built-in capacity to be in a spiral shape. They are in a spiral shape. And once they become linear, they lose their biological effect. Now, according to him, that with putting all amino acids, everything together, they can only create 5% of all that is created by nature within us. You can imagine how far they have reached. With all that advancement, everything, only 5%. Now, these peptones, as they are spiral, Everything within us is like that, in the sense that our evolution has to take place spirally. It has to move in a spiral way, not linear way, like a pendulum. Like the men are becoming women, women becoming men, they are homosexual, this sexual, that sexual, is all mental projection. It's joyless. It doesn't give you anything at all. All your ideas of democracy, capitalism, communism, all isms that are nothing but mental projections. They are not reality, because you have no capital. What will you distribute? Your capital is your spirit. And when you get that capital within you, distribute. You can't live without it. Like me, you see. For all practical purposes, I am a happily married woman. Our friends don't understand what's wrong with this woman. Why is she going round to talk to people? What is she doing? Such a big capitalist, what is the need for her to go down? But I am a capitalist inside. And I must spend this. I must give this. I am the greatest communist, I should say that, because I must give it. So the communism or capitalism and all these political ideas are absolutely parallel to what's inside. But it's not the inside. It's not the genuine thing inside. On these mental projections I have told you, people just start believing. Like people believe that we are twice born. If you want to believe, you can believe you are a dog or an elephant. You can believe whatever you like. But that belief has no meaning at all, because it is not so. Supposing I believe I am the governor of Los Angeles, they'll say you are mad. That's what it is. Because if you believe into something and you start acting, it is always a falsehood, it's mythical. Now Christ also, or any one of them came, they said you believe in them, what they were saying. What Christ said, that you believe that there is God, that He is the Son of God, is fact. But you have not become the Son of God. When you start believing that we have Christ in our pocket, then you are sadly mistaken. Christ is very far away from you just now. So mentally, if you accept any situation like that, then you become a complete barrier to truth. There's nothing can go into your head, because you think, oh wow, I go to church, all right, I pay money for the church. Church is not Christ. So now churches are selling in England and they are making pubs out of it. Actually pubs, anyway, people will be even burst there, because all dead bodies are lying down below and here they are going for drinking. What's going to happen to them? It's a serious matter for me. So this is what it is, that when we start believing into something, we also believe we are that. Some people read Gita. And when they read Gita, they believe they are Vyasa themselves, the one who wrote it. But some of them believe they are Shri Krishna themselves. To this extent people go to believe that they themselves are Shri Krishna, they talk like Shri Krishna. Now the Shri Krishna's qualities are there. If I say I am Christ, all right, you should say that if you are Christ, walk on the water. And if I say I am the Holy Ghost, then you should say, all right, raise our Kundalini, he said. If you can raise our Kundalini, then you are the Holy Ghost, otherwise you cannot raise Amas. That's the point. And if that is so, then you should accept someone as something. It's already written down. But on the contrary, people start believing they are the Holy Ghost. I've met people like that. They said, we are the Holy Ghost, we are Christ, we have to just keep it. What an ego. And that's what makes people absolutely closed to truth. They cannot see truth because they want to believe that they are already there. They have got it, only they have to keep it. It's a wrong thing. You still have to have it. But in our practical life, we don't do that. You see, in practical life, supposing we just believe that this is mine, it doesn't become mine, does it? And if I go and say, no, this is mine, I'll be put into jail. Anything like that we do not believe unless and until we have it. Supposing I say, all right, sit down here, there's a chair. Will you sit? We'll first see it is there or not. In the same way, in our spirituality, we are just the opposite. We want to believe because we know nothing is going to be challenged. And that's how we close ourselves to reality. We have to be, we have to become. And that's the problem of Sahaja Yoga, that you cannot become a Sahaja Yogi unless and until you become. There is no certificate, there is no payment, because we cannot say it has to become. Unless and until you are a tree, we cannot call a seed a tree. That cannot be done. Nor you would like to call. So that's how it is. We have to humbly accept that we have to become. If we really humble down on that point that we have to become, that all our knowledge has been of no use, is non-knowledge, then only it happens. There was a great poet in India called Surdas. He was a blind poet, has written lots of poems describing his agony to meet God. And such poems people like, because they too have the same agony, so they like to sing, when will I meet you, when will it happen, and all that. So, he sang all this. But after all that, the last thing he wrote was very beautiful. Surdas ki sabhi avidya dura karo nandalal. That, O Lord, Sri Krishna, please remove my non-knowledge. So far, I have written Sursagar, the ocean of his poems, he says, is nothing but non-knowledge. So just remove it. The knowledge has to be felt on your consciousness, on your central nervous system. So all other things like people start jumping, going under the blanket, saying that our guru is great. You can't even make out whether he is a true guru or non-guru. How can you say that he is your guru? Guru has to be a person who knows everything about it, and who is above money, above all these material things, and he is nothing but compassion. I agree, many can say that, Mother, because you were not here, we went to other people. It's not true. I was the first to come here. 10 years back I came here, but you were not happy with me that time. You didn't like me very much, because I had no Rolls Royces. Oh, they actually asked me, Mother, how many Rolls Royces you have got? I said, Rolls Royces for what? They said, you see, they all collect Rolls Royces here. I said, I have come to collect my own children. I have not come to collect Rolls Royces. So they asked me, then how do you explain these people who come here in the name of God try to collect Rolls Royces? I said, I cannot explain, because I cannot stoop down to their level. I can't understand their level. Because to take even a little bit from someone free itself is parasitic. I mean, if somebody gives me a present, even materially, I think I should repay it back. Somehow or other I must return. It's very hard for me to accept even a little thing from you people whom I am giving this, because I have to give. It's to be given. It is your own. I am like a banker. I have to, it's your right to have it. So I have to give it. And in return, to take Rolls Royces and all that is so parasitic and is so below level. There is no self-respect. So I asked the gentleman who was asking me a question, supposing I tell you come in my house and live freely, will you do that? He said, no. I said, then to take a Rolls Royce free from someone on other people's money, is it not parasitic? What are they doing to get the Rolls Royce? What work are they putting? What material things they are doing that they should ask for Rolls Royces? Like that, you see. And people get enamored by these Rolls Royces. I tell you, the gentleman who has Rolls Royces here, I met him before. And he told me, unless and until he didn't know that I know all these things very well. I just camouflaged myself quite a lot and wanted to know what he's doing to the people. And he said, you know what is going to impress the people in the West? Big, big houses and great big cars. He himself wanted to buy a Mercedes at that time. And we had a Mercedes and he wanted to talk to me about it, so I would sell the Mercedes to him. Just imagine. He knew at that time that you people will be more impressed by Rolls Royces. Just imagine such a thing to happen. So we have many contentions and many ideas about things. In Sahaja Yoga, gradually they drop out. I don't want to shock you, because you will think, oh Mother, this also is gone. Like a homosexual came to me and he asked, Mother, what do you think of homosexual? I looked at him, I said, all right, I'll explain to you, sit down. I took about half an hour to explain to him how he became homosexual and how it is enslaving him. It is a joyless pursuit. He will never have a joy. And moreover, those who are today born have a greater responsibility, because they should have sane marriages to allow the great saints to be born in this country. Only devils will be born under such circumstances. Only devils. Who can face such circumstances when mother is marrying 10 times, father is marrying 12 times, and the child is, in a sense, is all the time attacked? So we have to have sane, good marriages if you want the saints to be born here. And without their birth, we cannot see the saving of this madness that's going on. So, but I told him very clearly how it has come. Because yesterday, also day before yesterday, I spoke on that, how the homosexuals were created in this country or any country in the West. In India, we did not know all this, what it's supposed to be, so unnatural. We must be primitive people because they are so advanced, and we don't know about these things. Actually, I couldn't eat my food for 8 days thinking that now they are doing this is too much. But actually what has happened is your laws. Your laws are very funny. The laws are such that if a man marries a woman, there's in for trouble. Because he loses half of his money with first wife, then half of it with the second, then half of it with the third. By the time he's third time married, he's just working. You see, this is the law. I have seen women very rich, very well off, and the husbands absolutely paupers. Same lady marrying one husband looking like a pauper, absolutely has no money. So this is one of the law which is very, very, I think, is imbalanced and creates a problem between husband and wife quite a lot, because the whole thing becomes money oriented. And I know of somebody who is a great surgeon, Winnie, in America. Her mother has married now 10 times. She's older than me. And now this is her 11th marriage she's arranging. So that is what she's doing. And that's how she's quite a moneyed lady. And I don't know how she manages that, how she's befooling so many men and managing that thing. So the marriage becomes just a joke. Secondly, this is one of the reasons why men don't want to marry women, because there's no equality of sharing. And that's why one of the reasons why they thought it's better to have a man as a companion or a spouse. Then the second thing which is very wrong in us is that the women don't understand their responsibility, and because men oppress them so much. At the time of Abraham Lincoln, if you see, the men were horrid, absolutely, much worse than Indian men, much worse. They used to oppress women, and they used to do all kinds of things, and women were denied all kinds of rights. So as a result of that, now women have become men, you see, and they are trying to dominate. I mean, when I see an American woman, I'm quite surprised how they treat their husbands. Now, you see, there's a trick. They must know of a woman how to treat the husband to put him right, you see. She is a mother, and the tricks you don't know. That's why we, of course, I mean, our husbands are just with us throughout. But we know the trick, and you don't know the trick. You are trying something which won't work out, because you are not an instrument for that. For supposing this is an instrument for emitting my voice, and if I start using it for playing a tape record, you cannot. So the woman is a woman and a man is a woman. A man is a man. And if the man tries to be a woman and a woman tries to be a man, there's going to be a problem. But that doesn't mean that woman should sit at home and look after the children. It doesn't mean that at all. But the woman's qualities are of nourishment, or of soothing, or of compassion. There are such powerful qualities you do. Your compassion is so great that your children cannot go anywhere. Anything happens, they must come to you. Your husband cannot go anywhere. He has to come. The compassion is so pure and so great that the power of compassion we have never realized. This is the power of compassion of God. Is His feminine, the mother, that's working it out. He is just a witness of the whole show. He is not bothered. If you people don't behave all right, he'll just switch off everything. He'll switch off. He's very anxious because he's just a spectator. He's a lonely spectator of the whole spectacle. And he can just switch off the whole spectacle if he doesn't like it. So the mother has to play a very beautiful role, very carefully. She has to nourish her children, she has to look after them, she has to bring them up, and should be then entered into the kingdom of God. Then only you can enter into the kingdom of God. And that is a thing of great patience, love, and tremendous power. If you don't have power, say this mother did not have power, she could not have borne us. With all the kinds of horrible things going on, the way we are digging her, the way we are torturing her, she would have collapsed long time back. But she has such a tremendous power of forgiveness, of compassion, love and nourishment that she is acting within us. And your Kundalini is the same Mother Earth. She is the representation of the same Mother Earth, the same Holy Ghost, or the same Kumbha, we call it the Aquarius. That's the Aquarius. This is the Aquarian age, they call it, because this is the age when you will get your nourishment. Your own Kundalini is going to nourish you. She is going to soothe you. She is going to guide you properly. The mother is the greatest guru. I mean, even the gurus have their mata. A guru has to be a mata. Otherwise, how will they come? And the whole absurdity has come to us also in the West, from many religions, especially we should say Christianity and Judaism, where they didn't talk of the mother at all. That was not the time to talk, because at the time of Abraham they had to talk of the father. Then at the time of Christ they had to talk of the son. That was the time, because if he had talked about his own mother, they would have killed her, and then he would have come out with his 11 destroying power and would have finished the whole joke once for all. So he never talked about the mother power. Now the time has come for the mother power. And I was told that in the 13th century, somebody, what was his name?
Joachim de Fiore.
He talked about this, that because I don't read books, you see. He talked that it was the time of the father, then the manifestation of the son, and the manifestation of the mother is awaited. And when this manifestation takes place, as a result of that only you get your realization. But those people who want to take advantage only talk of the doomsday. They don't talk of the resurrection day. Now, if you read Quran, any one of you who has read Quran, I deliberately tried to understand it because my father translated it into Hindi language, that it mostly describes the resurrection time and very little of the doomsday. But the doom is described more, because then you can frighten everyone. The doomsday is coming, better get converted. You see, doomsday is coming, just to frighten people. And in that, he has very clearly said, at the time of resurrection, your hands will speak. They have all talked of the future. Christ has talked about the future, that he'll send you a comforter and he'll send you the Holy Ghost. He has talked about it. Every one of them has talked about 14,000 years back in India. A great astrologer, I mean, he's the, we should say, the father of astrology. He's the originator of astrology. Bhrigu Muni has written a book, Nadi Granth, in which he has clearly said that this age will come with the mother, the Parabrahma, the mother. Parabrahma is the Adi Shakti, we call it the primordial mother's power, will come. And in 1970, this will start as Sahaja, the Kundalini will rise, and there will be no need for hospitals and all that. If it works out, we can avoid the Third World War. It's clearly said 14,000 years back. And if it is not working, then there will be a problem. Most of the people will be destroyed, and then only the yogis will take over. Means these yogis are Sahaja yogis. It's very clearly said in that. So it's already prophesied so many years back. For us, William Blake has prophesied that men of God will become prophets, and they'll have power to make others prophets. The amount of details William Blake has written, I don't think even Markandeya had done that. He, of course, Markandeya has described even the shape of my knees and all that, but this one has described even the exact house where I'm living, all the houses, and even the ashram where we are going to live. Imagine, to that extent this William Blake has written. So you can understand how far he has gone deep into the whole thing. And he was such a great seer, born in England, which is the heart of the universe. So now, as they must have told you that this is the Vishuddhi chakra of the universe. Did you tell them that? Not yet. All right. So I leave it to them to tell you. And what are the responsibilities? I mean, the responsibility lies here, and how the Americans have the responsibility. I mean, you have been very noble people throughout. You have talked of such noble things, and I believed in it. You believed in it, and you always fought for the noble side of life. But now, if one by one, if you start destroying yourself from within, the whole thing can fritter up. So we have no right to destroy ourselves, because we cannot create even a hair. We have no business to say what's wrong. Whatever is wrong against life, whatever is anti-life is anti-God. God has created it. You have not created it yourself. So don't take up responsibility to ruin yourself. Only thing what you can do is to cure yourself. You have to soothe yourself, respect yourself. Even when you do something, know that are you doing out of respect for yourself, or you are just doing because our ego is saying, what's wrong? Like these punk rocks, you see, going on with that kind of an absurd thing on the roads. It's like a clown they are moving, making themselves such a nuisance value it has. And in England it's very common to see these people. But when they come to me after that, I find their eyes are becoming blind. And it's become a great strain for me to clear that, because these dyes, you see, they make your eyes, these horrible dyes, make your optic lobe so heavy that your eyes become blind. These things have very serious effects. You must know that, and you must learn all about it, how it affects. Also you must learn, as Sir Yogis, how to talk to others. First of all, among the Sir Yogis, you are all one. You are part and parcel of the whole which is awakening. You all should keep together as one, and gradually you will understand how beautiful you all are, because you are all saints. Respect each other. You are saints. How can you insult anyone who are saints? So first of all, give up those bad habits of talking and barking at others. Try to love each other, respect each other, be very, very kind to each other, and if possible, try to express it through some material gifts or through some material help. In the sense not that you give money and all that, but we can send a little present sometimes, or we can just try to look after the comfort of the other person. Put our attention to them, how you could be nice to them. There is no need to be slavish, there is no need to be pampering their ego, but know that as I am the saint, he is the saint. If you see the real saints when they meet in such a big way. You see that as if the two hands are rising, the 5 fingers are rising, all in unison, in concord. Imagine one hand is going like this, one other like this. You can't do any work. So you belong to one collective being, and all of you should understand to establish complete concord among yourselves. As far as the others are concerned, they are others. So when they are the others, then you have to talk to them very sweetly, quietly, gradually opening the truth about Sahaja Yoga, because Sahaja Yoga is a very great truth and not easy to be assimilated. Not easy, because it's a very great thing. It's impossible, especially for ego-oriented people, because they have like a snake. All the time the ego is sitting and just refuses to see things, you see, and that's how it's very difficult. So gradually open out one by one everything. Unless and until you find them, all right, don't tell them, because they'll shun away. Of course, it does not matter, they are the losers. But as we have to be compassionate towards them, we have to save them, we have to be careful not to tell them. Like a person is getting drowned and you are a swimmer. So you tell that person, keep quiet, don't move your hands, be careful. Sometimes they will not like, why not? I'm also going to do it. So if they do it, they'll follow. So then you have to tell them, if you do like that, you are going to follow. And you just release your hand for a while and let them see for themselves. And then they know, oh God, I'm going down. So then they keep quiet. So to give them a lesson, also a little bit is important. But in such a gentle way that they understand that if you have to go ahead, you have to learn about it, gradually come up. And do not blast them suddenly. If you blast them, then they'll be all shattered. You see, they are already in pieces. The whole world is in a big turmoil, in a big tension. And whatever we have to do it with great care and love and affection and understanding. So with others, you have to be gurus and to understand like the other gurus are. I mean, the real gurus are just the opposite of these gurus who are taking money from you. I mean, better keep off from the real ones, because they can hit you very hard. I know of someone, you see, once it happened that he told me that, Mother, if somebody troubles you, better send him over to me. I said, all right. I didn't know he was such a harsh man. This gentleman was troubling me too much. I said, all right, go and see that guru wants you. He was so elated, because this guru doesn't see people normally. So he went all the way, climbed all the mountains, reached him, you see. And he started talking about me. Oh, Mother has become so generous. She gives it to every Tom, Dick and Harry. She should not do this. It's not proper. She's cheapening Sahaja Yoga and all those things. He said, really? You think so? You're wiser than her, isn't it? And then he made him sleep there. And then next time I see him was when he came with both the legs broken and put around his neck and dangling like that, you see. In the hall, I was sitting and tears started rolling my eyes. I said, "What's this? Who has done this to you?" He said, "Guru has done it." I said, "How?" He said, "I was sleeping and this Guru has, his hands and feet are broken by people. So he uses a tiger to move about. So the tiger came and he threw me in the khad. And I fell down. And it was about 12, 15 feet down. I fell down and broke my both the sides here. And then this Guru, after 3 days, you see, I called and called, nobody came. And then 3 days he put some chapatis, as we call, like your pita bread, down, saying that eat that now. And I was there, urinating, doing everything there in that filth. I was there. After 5 days, he picked me up. When I went up, he said, "How dare you talk about mother? Now, you put these legs around your neck and go to her dangling like this, and she will cure you, not me. So go and tell her all about it." I said, "What are you doing?" I went asked that Guru, "What should you do like that?" Another fellow doctor I sent him who had gone very much wrong. So he made him carry 2 buckets of water all the way to the mountain and clean one Shiva temple, which was all neglected. You see, a poor fellow, when he came, he was thin, just bones. I said, "What happened, doctor?" He said, "You see, I was told this exercise for a month." So when I met him, I said, "What do you mean by treating them like this? It was too much." He said, "They are donkeys and donkeys must be treated like donkeys. That's my principle. You go ahead. You want to convert donkeys into good men, all right, you try. But I am not going to do that." He told me very frankly. So the real gurus don't take any money, but they really take you to task. So, and anybody who takes money, be sure that is not a guru at all. By anything, you cannot take any money from the people. Now supposing if they have to build, say these people want to build some sort of an ashram, all right, go ahead. I have nothing to do. I don't want to see accounts or anything. You do among yourselves. I have nothing to do. And everyone should know how the money is spent, where they have spent it, how it has happened. Everyone should know, but I don't want to have the money because I don't understand money. So I better not have it then. So this is what an attitude should be for you people also, that in money matters also, you should be very straightforward. Now the point that I want to tell you is that, as Danny has told me, that people in Santa Cruz don't have the sustenance to stick to Sahaja Yoga. It's very surprising that they don't have sustenance. But to me, Americans seem to be doing guru shopping all the time. You see, they go here, all over. And this is a temple where you enter in, you settle down. If you go on digging everywhere for the well, what do you get? Nothing. So wherever you get little water, go on digging more there, settle down. Even if you got little bit, you go digging there more and more. And that's how you'll settle down as real Sahaj Yogis. So, as you know that Sahaj Yoga is not a thing that we have any organization as such, or we have any granting of diplomas, degrees or courses, nothing like that. It's somebody can go just like that. Some people I've seen grow so fast, surprising, and some people are so slow that I don't know what category I should put them. They come, go. You see, like we used to read in our mathematics before, a man came for 5 days, worked, ran away, and then another man came who worked for 2 days, ran away. All of them are runaways, you see. So if that kind of people are there in Sahaja Yoga, nothing will work out. You see, this work never will be over. Answer to that mathematics is it will never be done. You see, that's what it is. So for you people, it is important to know that you have to sustain yourself in Sahaja Yoga. It's very important because there's a drag. First is the material drag. Matter always drags you. Comfort, this, that. Whatever you may say that you are non-materialistic, it will drag you. And that and other things like intellectual feats that you have gone through and the mental conception, you must see the truth and accept it. Don't accept anything, even when I am telling you, because it's not wrong. You must have an open attitude, but you will find gradually, if you find about 9 points true, then you must believe in 100 points, because it's so, and go ahead with it. This is what the belief means. It does not mean that you should believe that now you have become like primordial masters. That's a wrong attitude. So I would say that gradually you are all going to grow into great people. You have before you some people sitting here who have grown like that, and some people have grown suddenly like that. I would say some of them were following so many other things, but they dropped it in a second. They dropped. It's such a quick understanding. But some are very slow people, and Sahaja Yoga has a double type of a force. One is centripetal, another is centrifugal. And through that another type of a thing, you go round and just you are thrown out as a tangent. So be careful. Try to remain in Sahaja Yoga. It's in within yourself you have to remain. Sahaja Yoga is all within yourself. So try to remain within yourself and follow the methods of Sahaja Yoga, which are actually the true, what we call the Shuddha Vidya, is the pure knowledge. It's the pure knowledge. How to handle your powers, how to cure your chakras, how to nourish yourself, and how to reach the state where you just become joy. All those things you have to understand and do it for yourself, and you have to do it for others also in the same way. But if you are not established, you yourself still are lingering with other things, then this transformation is not established. Then people are not going to believe. Like an egg you wear, now you become like a bird. But the bird has to come out of the shell completely, has to be a clean bird, has to know how to fly out properly, then only you will be called as really transformed bird. Because bird in Sanskrit language is called Vijaha, means twice born. And that happens to human beings also. That's why on a Christmas day we give eggs, because we are eggs, and with Christ's resurrection we have to become the bird. And that is why we have to learn so many things you will know which you have not known before. All the symbols, all the things that we have known from outside, you will know from inside, and the whole thing will be integrated, completely integrated. I hope I'll have one more chance to see you again and meet you again. But in any case, I would like to have questions from you, if possible. But there's no need for Sahaja Yogis to be aggressive with me. But be careful about murmuring souls, as Christ has said. You see, there are some people who are half. They play into the hands of negativity, and they go on murmuring at the back, you see. They won't allow you to progress. We have some people even now, after 10 years, they continue slowly, slyly working out at the back bench, you see, and try murmuring and put you down. So you go according to your own understanding, and don't according to the other understanding. But gradually you'll find you'll come to the open space of complete reality. May God bless you. I would like to have questions.
About a year or two ago, I was working on meditation and chanting in mantras, trying to get in touch with the Brahman, the Atman. And what was happening to me is that certain cities were opening up. For example, I was so much in touch with other people's consciousness that when I was in a let's say in a line for cookies, what the person in front of me ordered, it kind of got me, and I had to order the same thing. Could you tell me how I can get away from that, so I can still keep...
I'll tell you about this one. Is very nice. If some people who are in front can come sit in front here, it would be nice idea. It would be closer. Yeah, very good. You have said it the right thing at the right time, which I wanted to tell you about very much. I've got the chart here.
Yes, it's here, madam.
Now you see the chart that is here. Can you remove this one a little bit? Now the whole thing is that the naiveness of the Western people have been exploited by the people who wanted to really take advantage of it. Now how they discovered the naiveness? See, the naiveness that you are very naive at things was this, that so many people, even Jung, I would say Jung was a realized soul, no doubt, but even Jung was misled there. Of course, Freud was very much misled, so many of them. And when they read their books, they said, this is the chance to hit them. So when I saw one of the, as I said, I don't read much, but I had to talk to Jungian, so I saw there some of their diagrams. And I was shocked, you see, because what was there was they showed the human being as such, the unconscious first, a layer, then an unconscious that will manifest, then the subconscious, then the conscious mind on top of the ego. Such a jumble box, I tell you, really. And this must have given a key to these people to come down here. That means that if you have to go, now see how it is layer by layer they have put it. It's a self-conviction, I tell you. So, if you have to go to unconscious, down below, as it is said, then you have to go through subconscious. So, when they knew that these people are willing to go to the subconscious, they came here. And they started talking about, no, actually it is not like this. They are not placed one top of another. They are vertically placed. See here, that's the clear point. You see, God is the greatest organizer. See now, if I have to come inside, you won't keep all the people there, all these things there for me to cross through, will you? I mean, you'll organize in a way that there should be movement, isn't it? Even in an airport, if you go, you won't put all the hurdles in between where the people have to pass through. I mean, He is the greatest organizer. So He organized it this way. Beautifully done, that the path in the center is kept open for you to ascend ultimately. Alright? Now, the subconscious is on the left hand side. The supraconscious, the future side, is on the right hand side. So you don't have to go to these places. Those people who take LSD and all that go to the right side. Those people who go to these, some of the gurus, I mean some gurus are also right-sided, like Hitler used that, supraconscious. He used that from lamas, he got it from lamas. So what happens that when without realization you try to push your attention to the left or the right, you go into these things where you get caught up into the collective subconscious on the left and the collective supraconscious on the right, and you start getting all this nonsense. And by that, you can be anything. I mean, see, people in the left side can suffer from all these diseases. See, all your incurable diseases like cancer, AIDS, mellitus, all these diseases, they come from left side entry. If you go to even doctors have accepted because I saw there one film where they said that the triggering, first of all they say it has to be vulnerable, means too much of sympathetic activity. Supposing you have this chakra here like this, and this is the vertebra, left and right. Now, if there is too much sympathetic, means left or right activity, then it opens out and the connection with the whole is lost, you see. Now what happens, you start moving towards the left. Once you start moving towards the left, you enter into your subconscious area, and then you enter into your collective subconscious where you are catching from other people, collective subconscious. It is not consciousness, but subconscious you are touching there. You see, now for example, I'll tell you a simple thing like flirting is also the same thing. You will be amazed, flirting is. We can't flirt, I mean we can't, our eyes are too simple to flirt, there is nothing inside to flirt with. You see, it is a joyless pursuit, but this, what happens that a spirit, see, that guides the flirting. I was amazed when somebody told me this. I said, why is it, but I saw people getting the spirit from one eye to another. But I didn't know how it works out, but once somebody told me, he was standing with me on the platform, and suddenly he turned around. He said, see, there's a woman standing there. And I said, but you never saw her. But her spirit collectively, as you said, behind, you were behind the gentleman, still you got it. Collectively, you see, suggested. And this spirit informed that spirit, and the thing worked out and he turned around. See, because eyes are not innocent. The eyes have the spirit in them. You see, there's lust and greed. And if you have lust and greed in your eyes, then the spirits come to help you down. They also enjoy their lust and greed through your eyes or through your behavior. So they are there. And with this thing you develop all these troubles of cancer. Because the doctor said that when it is vulnerable for cancer, means there is too much of left and right side activity, then triggering takes place by the attack from the area that is built within us since our creation. And they call it, the attackers are called as protein 52 and protein 58. Just imagine. You give them the name protein 52, 58, but I tell them these are nothing but spirits. Virus infection is nothing but the dead vegetables and animals which have gone out of circulation of your your evolution. Whatever goes out of circulation goes and settles down there. And whatever is in the future, a futuristic man who lives in future, see, most of the Western people live in future, they go to the supraconscious area. I mean, there are cases like somebody started suddenly painting like Gauguin. I know Gauguin is a great painter, see, with the same strong lines and colors and things, and he has some very beautiful paintings, like he's done a sunflower beautifully. Yellow is his favorite color. And one did just in front of everyone on the television, you could see it. And he said, I'm possessed by Gauguin. And Gauguin started talking, yeah, I've possessed you. Because he was mad, he died, he possessed him. But it was for a short time. And then Gauguin went away. Perhaps maybe that I gave it a bandhan. Perhaps, maybe. But that's what it is. So, you see, whatever is happening to you is not siddhis. Siddhi is this, where you become siddha, means proved to be realized. These are called kshudra, means shudra. Shudra like English में क्या है? Untouchable. Shudra. Untouchable. Should not be touched. One should not touch them. This is very low, and that is what people think to be advancement. Like people start jumping, These Mahesh Yogis people, when they came to me, they were jumping on the first seat. I said, now what's happening here? They said, now we are flying in the air. I said, where? You are just jumping there like frogs, you see. Where is the air? And put your guru to fly. Let's see if he can fly. Why not ask them to fly? You see, you should find out also the life of Guru, how he is. Like the one who is supposed to be here, Bhagwan, he calls himself God. He cannot smell a flower. I mean, imagine there are at least, if there are 1,000 names of God, there are at least 30 names we say, you are so fond of this flower, you are so fond of that flower. I mean, if he cannot smell flower, then how can he be God? I mean, flower is the most beautiful thing in the creation, isn't it? He cannot smell flower. Such a man should be something, put him into some filthy place, that he'll be happy there, I think. That's what it is. You must understand, if he doesn't like the fragrance of the flower, how can he be? And all of them are so gross, I tell you. They don't know any sophistication of life. Nothing. There's aesthetics if you see the way they are. It's horrible if you see the carpets they use, the amount of things they have. I mean, it's all nonsense. You can see that even they are not rustic there. I don't know what to call them. They're very cheap type people. Very cheap. They can't talk to you about your philosophies or your music. They don't know about Indian music, leave alone any other music. They don't know about Indian dancing, they don't know about Indian traditions. Ask them why this is put or why this is born, why this is born. They won't be able to tell you what are they talking about Brahma and this and that. Read some few books here and there and just started talking. Some of them have come direct from jail. But they are so confusing. I can understand, they can confuse you because they talk another language which you have never heard before. But it is like going from fire to fire. This thing, it's not proper. You must understand that something must happen to you of which you should be the master. Simple. Supposing I say I am such and such, all right, so what? What did I give you? What did you get? I am not surprised, my child, that you've got these things. I have seen people who have ended up into complete recluses. Absolutely horrible things have happened to them. But if you tell them also, they don't want to hear. It's such a position. They said, let us go to hell, doesn't matter. Our Guru will go to hell, we'll go with him. Really, they are so identified. I mean, you can't tell them. You just can't talk to them. If you talk to them, they feel very hurt. They don't know what harm it has done to them. They just don't know. Yeah.
But should we have compassion for such teachers and such people that are affiliated with them?
Should we have?
Compassion.
Should we have compassion for these people who are affiliated with these teachers?
First of all, you develop your compassion. Secondly, discretion. You see, it's a wasted compassion. What's the use of having compassion for Hitler? It is wasted. Absolutely wasted. I went to most of them, talked to them, told them, what are you doing? You have come out of the hell, now you are again going to go back permanently there. They won't listen to me. It's wasted.
How about the people that are associated with them, she said?
Associated.
disciples. The disciples.
Followers. Tribe was very difficult, very difficult. Like one of the persons we had, John in London, who was very much worried about his friend who was really lost to this fellow, this 14-year-old fellow. And he talked to him about it. And they were driving in a car. And he just went hayward, like this, like that, and he had to jump out of the car. You see, the fellow, they couldn't bear it. Yogi had compassion for 3 people from Rajneesh, you see. I told him, you bring them alone, separately to me, not in the big crowd, because in India we have really very, very big crowds, you see. And I said, there will be a problem. But he had compassion, you see. I told him, just don't bring him. But you see, that time he didn't understand what I was saying. But he brought them. And they must be about 60 feet away from me, not very close. As soon as they stood up and saw me, they just collapsed, you see. No energy in their body. People tried to lift them, their hands would slip just like a fish. You see, they didn't know what to do. 5, 6 people had to literally lift that kind of a molasses, you see, from there and put them out. It was such a problem. So, it's not easy, but gradually, if they discover it, come to right conclusion, and there are still something is there left, then you can manage.
Mother, I also had tea and meditation and training, and so did my husband. And we've been seeking for a very long time.
I know.
And I'm here.
Good, good.
But we both attended the lectures, and we were both very touched, and we both felt truth.
That everybody does, till you discover. I must tell you about TM, horrid things about that, what happens actually.
Okay. I wanted to come, and I just made that spontaneous decision to come. And then after I'd already made the decision, I said, oh, you don't mind, do you, if I go? And he was very supportive of it, and he wanted to come also, but he wasn't able to. Now I'm going to go home, and
You can manage it, I'll tell you. You see, he formed a big organization in Scotland. There's a lake called Roanoke Lake, and there was a gentleman who was a diamond merchant, you see, and his wife was the granddaughter of a duke of England. She always, you see, tried to find out all the rich people of the world. And he said, you start this organization there, and it was called as the Academy of Flying. Academy of Flying. You see, they used to pay 6,000 pounds to go and do this thing. This girl was with him for 18 years, and they married about, I think, 12 years or so. And then this gentleman has been for 12 years. And this lady got a horrible type of epilepsy which I've never seen. For 3 hours she used to go into that thing and used to shout. Her neck used to be pulled out. And from the mouth, you see, all funny types of things used to fall out. She used to vomit. Terrible condition. Nobody could control it. Nobody could do anything. The daughter also got it. The husband got it. All of them got it. And the deputy director, who also had inherited a lot of money from his mother, also got it. All of them, 4 of them got it. So one of their friends, you see, they all started wondering what's happening to these people, and they had become bankrupt because the money was not paid to them at all after 3-4 years. They were spending all the money, and they said, yes, we are going to send you accounts and this and that, and money was quite finished. So what happened, some people who knew them, who were under them, who worked under them, I mean in the sense that they went and so-called, they learned the Siddha movement and all that. You see, one of them had gone to a barber shop, and they are not allowed to read anything. You see, it's such a mafia stuff. There was one book kept as Yoga Today. He had an article by David Baxter, and somehow he felt like reading. And in that my photograph was there, and David had said, you can put your hands on this and see for yourself if you have got realization or not. And when he put it, he went into contortions. He got such a fright, you see, closed the book, you see, and he telephoned. And we have a very simple man called Douglas, who was on the phone. And he said, have you been to TM? He said, yes. Are you boiling? He said, I'm perspiring. He said, all right, come and see us. So he went there. And I was in the house, I was eating my food. Suddenly a SOS came from the ashram mother. Somebody has come called David Prawl, you see. And we just told him your name and he's going into contortions, he cannot stop. So better come here, it's just a SOS. I said, let him go into contortions for a while and I'll work it out. Then I gave a bandhan and all that, and then when he went back, he saw that it was stopped. But then this David Prawl, you see, called these people. They came, they were so frightened of this Mahesh Yogi. They came to see me in a very far-fetched place, you see, somewhere outside London. And there they told me that this is all has happened to them and all that. They had no money even to come to that. So I brought them in my car. They stayed in my house. Imagine these rich people lost everything. And then I cured all of them. Now they are all right, but the husband became such a bankrupt, he had to go away to South Africa. His wife was so frightened and all that. She's cured now. Now she's with Yogi there. Now she's a normal person. Still she gets lots of problems. And then she told me that this man had raped her when she was 17 years of age. This is when she was 35, this has happened. And she had conceived a child from him. And then she had an abortion. And since then she is under trance, absolutely under his control. Even when she came to me, she used to go into trance and say, I love him, this old junky fellow, you see, 4 feet 2 inches. I don't know what made her love him. And he's very romantic and all that. She used to say all those things, really. But what happened, before coming to me, she went to News of the World and she had told them that I want to give this about Mahesh Yogi. Everything she told, and it was all published, everything was done. And when then she came to me, I told her, you should not have done this. This is a stigma for your children. But she said, Mother, I've done it. They'll sue me for this and all. I said, all right, go ahead. And nobody bothered. So many people have written about TM, but they go to it again and again. I don't know how to bring them round. He is a very powerful force that way, because he really somehow or other entraps people. And he's the main organizer. I know him very well. He's a very clever man, a big man in the government of India. And I know him because, after all, my husband was also in the government. And he told me that Mahesh Yogi says that unless and until you involve them through money, these Americans can never be put down. And to such an extent, he thinks that they have a right to extract money from you.
I paid $200 when I didn't really have it, that I was seeking, so I...
You see, only 200 is nothing. It's nothing. It doesn't matter,
Mother,
forget it.
I think one of the things she's worried about too is she's here and her husband's not here, and she's worried that, in some way she'll be...
Well, our marriage is very bond.